आनंदमयी चैतन्यमयी सत्यमयी परमे। Vande Mataram to all of you. It's been a very great opportunity for us to be with you, with all the divine aspirants, divine children. And in the beginning, we already know that the purpose of meeting you among us, Madam already explained you that why we are here and what is our aim, what is our goal, and what are we doing right now, what is our mission. Our mission is to spread the message of the Sri Aurobindo, inspired from the teaching of the Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. And definitely there is a great purpose behind it, why we are doing this, starting from the birthplace of the Sri Aurobindo from Kolkata from 15th August. And we as a group had been seeing the journey throughout, visiting different places, different states of India, and ultimately we will be reaching to Pondicherry in the next year. So throughout the India, we are striving ourselves to convey what inspired us from the teaching of Sri Aurobindo. First of all, we must know why and who is Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. In 1872, 15th August, it was a predestined date that Sri Aurobindo was born in Calcutta, and that is his birthplace. And after that, he was sent to England, in London. He did his education, schooling in Cambridge. And you know that that was the era of British colonization, right? This was the British rule time. And after completing his studies at the age of 20 years, he came back to India and he joined as a workforce in Baroda. Anyone from Baroda? No? In Baroda, he saw many atrocities that is happening in British colonization rule, British rule. And he joined in the revolutionary movement. He joined some society where he created some groups to fight against the British. And his only aim was to have a complete freedom. And he was the only freedom fighter among all the freedom fighters to believe and achieve the complete freedom. There shouldn't be any compromises, that there should be any link with the British. They should leave India completely, and that was his aim. Now, he was the freedom fighter and he wrote lots of articles, and that articles was published under the magazine called Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram, we all know what is the victory to the Divine Mother, a victory to the motherland. And that articles were so intriguing. It has some force in it that actually affected those who are against the British rules. And it was like having a force on those political leaders who did not like it, because his words were so powerful and his words were directly linked from the divine consciousness. And those words that when it reaches to the people, those who were actually freedom fighters, they followed them. They followed Sri Aurobindo and wanted to do what Sri Aurobindo wanted to do. But other political leaders were affected. And this actually ultimately affected the Britishers. And they really wanted to remove him. And they felt that he is a dangerous man for them. But ultimately, Sri Aurobindo wanted a good for India, for the nation. And that was the ultimate aim for his nation. Once upon a time, he wrote a letter to his wife, Mrinalini Devi, although they did not meet physically ever. But he wrote a letter to Mrinalini Devi speaking about his three madness. What are his three madness? The first madness was, obviously, for all ordinary people, it will feel like madness. But for him, it was some achievement. The first madness was, whatever I get, whatever I have, I will put it in for the useful purpose. If there is anything more than what I need, then I will consider myself a thief, a culprit. So that was his dedication, the commitment. Even for money, if you give him 5 rupees, he would use it for the purpose of what he is intended to. But if there is 1 rupee more, he will consider himself as a thief. That was the first madness. The second madness was, he heard of divine presence. He knows that there is a divine. We all know that. There is some kind of supreme force. Some superficially we know that. If ever anybody do not believe in God, but still we believe in some powers there. But Sri Aurobindo wanted to feel it physically with the God. Can you ever imagine that? But he imagined it. He wanted to. That was his second madness. And third madness was, he's fed up with the atrocities of the motherland. This is my motherland. This is India. And here all we do is sit, eat, sleep. So why shouldn't we go further, forge ahead, and do something for our motherland? We should work for the motherland. This land is the land of the spiritualism. India is the only land that has the force that will give us the spirituality movement. So we should fight for that. And he wanted to achieve that. So that was those 3 madness. So with that, he strived forward to have a Purna Swaraj. Purna Swaraj you must have read in history books. The complete freedom movement. And with this striving, the Britishers wanted to trap him. So they ultimately put him into trap by a false case. That was a false Alipur bomb case. There was a bomb blast in Alipur and he was falsely arrested with a false charge. He was arrested and put in the Alipur jail. Now, here there is an interesting part. He was a freedom fighter. He wanted to do very sincerely, commit with a commitment, dedicatedly. But still he was arrested for good deeds. Obviously there must be a purpose. So that was the time when he had a realization of the divine presence. Somebody came to him and told him that there is no God. Can you see him? He said, no. Can you hear him? He said, no. Can you feel him? He said, no. Then there is no God. He proved it. Then Sri Aurobindo said, seriously, he got a proof. So the person really proved him that there is no God, there is no divine presence. Then Sri Aurobindo believed it for that moment. Okay, there is no divine presence, there is no God. Then the person left and he was alone in the jail. Suddenly at that right moment, Vasudeva himself came physically and embraced him. Now Sri Aurobindo was in confusion state, whether to believe that person or to believe the experience. Because inside him he had full trust that there is a presence of divine. The soul wanted to believe it and he felt it. From then on, there was no looking back. So he asked, I was doing good for the motherland. And what is this? I'm in jail. What is this meaning of this? Vasudeva said, behold, you are not, India will be free someday. There are many people to do it. But you have come for the purpose, for a different purpose, for a higher purpose. There's something higher for you to do. You have a higher task. And you are not for these petty things. Indian freedom will be done. It will happen. So you have different purpose for mankind. You have a different purpose for the entire universe. So you are not supposed to do the thing that which was not intended for you to. So then he realized that what he has to do. And that was the awakening time for him. His soul was awakened and he was mentally awakened, and that he realized that I have something greater purpose. I have to take a path of the spirituality. And then he later, after his release from the Alipur jail, there was no allegation found. There was no proof of his allegation. So he was ultimately released. Then later he moved to Pondicherry. Okay, so Pondicherry was his land of worship, his land of task. Okay, that was a karma bhumi for him. And from there he started his spiritual realization. And for 40 years he concentrated on the something higher which nobody on the planet has ever done. Ever. And nobody has ever explained what is that higher purpose. We also have learned about the nirvana. But after the nirvana, there is something higher which sure, because nirvana was required up to that era. Because during different era, different period of the time, there is some need. Now the time has come for the different need. And for that, Sri Aurobindo has explained us what is the higher than the enlightenment. So he did all the spiritual yoga. He explained about the integral yoga. And for 40 years, he wrote many books with the direct link from the divine consciousness. And the main thing he talked about is we have a mental consciousness, we have to achieve the supramental consciousness. The supramental consciousness is that when we are directly connected and we become the supreme. Never ever heard of this? Never. And that is what inspired us. There is something higher. There is something beyond which Sri Aurobindo has spoken about. He has written so many books. One book which is very famous. It's called Life Divine. In that book, he wrote the secret of achieving the divine manifestation. We can manifest the divine itself in ourselves. Most of the time we pray to the divine, pray to the God, but we put a veil in between us. But Sri Aurobindo said that we should remove that veil and we should become him. And we should descend, and Sri Aurobindo was the only person who was able to descend the supramental force. So in 1950, the supramental force was descended from the cosmic to the earth, and that supramental force is already started working since then. Now, so this is all about, and in 1950, 5th December, Sri Aurobindo left his mortal body for his another greater purpose. Then later on, the mother, now I will talk about the mother. Who is the mother? She was the collaborator of Sri Aurobindo, and she was herself from France. And she was born in 21st February 1878 in France. Now, she also had some kind of a spiritual realization during her early age. During her childhood age, she already had a divine realization. Something is possible for a human being to become something. And later on, she did her education there, and finally she chose India we never know what drove her to come to India and to work for the spiritualism. And she met Sri Aurobindo, and Sri Aurobindo has written so many books, and he has spoken of so many things which is not so easy for the ordinary mindset to understand. That's why the mother has come among us to simplify what we have to do, and she has explained in elaborately, and that we will discuss later. So she helped the entire mankind to her force is also helping the entire mankind to have a connection with the divine. So her real name was Mira Alfasa, but we call her as Ma, the mother. So and with the mother we can do some Nama Japa, and with the Nama Japa as a Mama, with that intent we can have a good possibilities of the spirituality. So I would like to conclude here.